I always tell my clients that when they hit a setback, they should just do something productive. And who am I but somebody who really wants to be a good role model and walk the walk and talk the talk. Now, a couple months ago, I started on this YouTube journey and I have been working really hard, but I'll be honest, that journey is dogged with performance anxiety and imposter syndrome where I overthink and I underact. And yes, I know that seems funny because by anybody else's standards, what I've done in the last 2 months, which is essentially 17, maybe 18 videos so far, is a lot. Except me, I like to do more. And I think that when I overthink and get too precious about my main YouTube channel, I miss out on growing as fast as I could because I'm very serious and I'm not really practicing speaking extemporaneously like here, being my normal wacky self. My friends say, oh my God, you are a little bit too stiff, and I don't want to be stiff, but I also need to maintain appropriate gravitas on my main channel. So here I am on a secondary channel. This is not a coaching channel. This is a Chris playing around and having fun channel about something that he may or may not really have a long-term vision for, but that is where hopefully the joy comes in. So I want to talk about something that is a little bit more frivolous. I want to talk about, I want to talk in a way that is more extemporaneous and not so scripted. And I also want to practice speaking for longer periods. So first, some ground rules. Oh, and the third thing is that I want to practice editing in a very lo-fi, minimum viable edit kind of way, which is different from how I'm doing it now. On my main channel, I have a team editing for me so that I could just make content and give my feedback and trust that it will be done in the best way possible, which is not limited by my level of skill in Adobe Premiere. Whereas here, the whole point isn't to impress people about my coaching skills. The whole point here isn't to impress people about anything at all, regardless of my editing skills, how I talk, etc. It is really an outlet for me to be a bit more human, to play, to not be too fussed. Here is about my own personal growth as an extemporaneous speaker, as a content creator, and as an editor. Extemporaneous speaking. And I use that word extemporaneous because a long time ago, I spent maybe 2 months in college in competitive forensics, which is a strange word for competitive speech. And the extemporaneous event was the only one I was okay at, which was they give you a random topic and then you address it for a couple minutes. And later when I joined Toastmasters, I gravitated well to another type of speaking there they call table topics. Yet here on YouTube, I freeze up and I get worried and I think I ramble too much as I do now. In an effort to overcome this belief I'm rambling, I script a lot on Chris Tran Coach. And here, I will not script very much at all. And in fact, as a process, which I'm not doing now, I will think about doing two things. One is, at the beginning of a recording session, I will write an outline out and then maybe even flash it up on the screen saying, hey, this is the outline. It may or may not go into the edit. And if it does, cool. And if it doesn't, cool. But the main purpose is for me to understand what I'm trying to say, the order I'm trying to say it, and to pull me back to Earth when I am suddenly lost in the heavens, wandering around finding my next asteroid to my... That metaphor just came out of nowhere. Now, that is the extemporaneous part. Beyond that, I want to structure so I can speak extemporaneous more freely and for longer periods of time. And what that means is, I'm watching the clock right now. I'm 5 minutes, 18 seconds into this recording session. Who knows how much of it will go into the final edit, but I'm 5 minutes and 18 seconds in, and I would like to be able to say, hey, I can talk about it for roughly 4 minutes at a time. Beyond extemporaneous speaking, I also want to have more fun and talk about more fun random topics, and that is why I am talking about right now, Riftbound, the trading card game, not unlike Magic the Gathering, and I guess there are a couple of reasons why I want to do so. One is I have an Al Bundy, married with children kind of cherished memory that I would love to bring back. I like to think I was a pretty good Magic the Gathering player about 30 years ago, right? Think about that. Now, what will come up is that my great story about when I used to be a competitive Magic the Gathering player and won a Black Lotus, and that will maybe come up later. But the whole goal here is, as long as I'm talking about something I enjoy and I have fun with, then I'll be able to continue. Riftbound is interesting because not only is it capturing the Magic the Gathering effort, but the other part of my whole story is I used to be a leader at Riot, senior leader, definitely more than a middle manager, definitely not an executive, but certainly somebody who was someone at Riot. And as they launched their big card game, I figure this would be a good way for me to plant my flag and not let history forget me as being part of Riot. I am not a humble man, and what great ambition would it be to try to be one of the better, if not the best, Riftbound player in Singapore. And yes, I know how arrogant and short-sighted and idiotic that sounds, because I haven't touched a card game in like 25, 30 years. So for all intents and purposes, there is not just one, but probably two generations of people who are way better at playing the card game than me. But hey, if you aim for the stars, you might hit the moon. And I think it's more fun to tell people I want to be the best player in Singapore versus saying, oh, I just want to have fun. And yeah, I do want to have fun, but fun for me is to be competitive and to be always growing, and that's okay. Wanting to perform and wanting to achieve, there's nothing wrong with that. And beyond that, with a new card game with Riot behind it, I think that there is monetary upside in that there is a card speculation aspect to it. Back when I was playing Magic 30 years ago, I just didn't have money, so I couldn't invest in cards and speculate as I wanted to. I fell out, and so I missed the huge boom that my old cards would probably have been valued at, even though there is theoretically a Black Lotus out there with my name on it. And the speculation part is one that I never got to really play. And why not? Why not try and see what happens with modest investment? Maybe there will be modest returns, and if not modest returns, then hopefully I will have fun playing them at all. Some fun playing the speculation side of the game, so that there's the competitive side, and then there's the speculation side, and then there's the Chris wants to have legacy side of playing Riftbound. But ultimately, this habit of wanting to become a better speaker and a better YouTube creator and better video editor, it won't work if I don't have something that I enjoy talking about and a steady stream of things to talk about with the game. For me to keep this up, I need to have fun and have a steady stream of things to talk about. And why not a collectible card game? There are always going to be new cards coming out, or there are new things to talk about with the cards. There are new players, maybe. And quite frankly, I'm inspired by Travis Gafford, who I met once upon a time at South by Southwest in 2019. And the idea that he has moved on from League of Legends esports and wants to do something new and sees that there's an opportunity with Riftbound, even if it's not successful, I think it's not a bad idea to look at what Travis is doing and saying, hey, he's a smart guy and has probably thought about it way more than me. Why not do what he's doing? And the third thing is editing, because editing a video is a how long is a piece of string kind of question. It can take as long or as little as you want, but the longer you edit, the higher the quality, but less likely you will be to finish it, because you will start seeing more and more flaws and you get too close to the work itself. And I want to get faster. One of the things that my clients and my colleagues and my employees all learn is that I am a momentum man. I love momentum. I love moving fast. I don't believe that I will learn fast by reading about a skill. I will learn fast by doing it once, doing it twice, doing it often, and sure, making mistakes along the way, because my learning process, the road of my education, is paved with scars, well-intentioned scars. So for this, what I'm doing is I'm recording minimum of 15 minutes a day, and then the editing, let's say I give myself 30 minutes to edit, which is rough cut, then music, then maybe B-roll or sound effects. And by that time, I'm probably out of time, because even just getting to the rough cut part will be hard enough as it is. But imagine if I can dedicate 45 minutes a day to doing this. Let's call it an hour, because switching costs are certainly a thing. All right, I'm 15 minutes recording something, including some time to set up some bullet points about what I want to talk to, ramble or speak extemporaneously or whatnot, and let the editing improve so that I can get faster and more natural and come up with a more new, wacky, authentic style versus this rigid, grumpy-faced old man that is on Chris Tran Coach, which still provides a lot of good value, but it is a different kind of experience than how I want to grow eventually into, right? It needs to be a combination of what I already have, which is a curated personality and identity, vis-a-vis the real me, who talks like this and is happy and confident and not second guessing what he's saying, because A, he really does believe he's good at extemporaneous speaking, and B, he likes to say the word extemporaneous a lot because it's a big word and it impresses him if it doesn't impress anyone else. I will edit out in post, and over time I will ramble less and edit faster. So hopefully today, this video is, sure, the first video, but maybe the most rambly video I will have ever. And even if it's not, over time, the moving average of how much rambling I do in a video, the signal to noise ratio, will improve just because I'm leaning into my own learning process, which is do more, think less, and then reflect on how I can do better. Because you cannot iterate unless you're executing. And the more you execute, the more you can iterate. And that is the whole purpose of this, right? So that I can iterate, and to iterate, I have to do a lot of it. And to do a lot of it, I have to have fun and be excited about it and be growing in new myriad ways. And hopefully, Riftbound will be that thing that helps me along my way. And if not, then I will find something else. Why do I need a game, and why can't I just talk about myself? And I'll tell you, the imposter syndrome would be even stronger, right? I would suddenly be self-editing and saying, oh, I should talk about this. Oh, but maybe I'll be too proud. Maybe I'll be too arrogant. Maybe people will think I'm an ass. Or I'll talk about this, and then that'll be, well, I'm too vulnerable. I'm sharing too much about my family. Or people will think that I'm not strong or wise, or I'm making mistakes, etc. And suddenly when I put myself into it, wanting to perform for the camera makes it really hard for me to grow. And that's why this Riftbound channel has to be absolutely different. Thank you.